Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. Today's recipe is a rich and flavor-packed Trini style corn soup. This corn soup is guaranteed to be a bestseller on the streets of Trinidad and Tobago. Subscribe to the channel and tag along with me to see how I complete this soup with a secret at the end of the video. The first thing we're going to do in making this corn soup, I'm going in with a cup of split peas. These are orange, small grain split peas and they boil so much faster than the yellow ones. I'm just going to add a cup of water or 2 cups of warm water and I'm going to wash these. I'm going to wash them and rinse them a few times. Alright, so we're going to use 3 cups of hot water. This is 8 cloves of garlic that I squash. I like my split peas quite garlicky. And now we're going to add our split peas in this. And we're going to boil this for about 30 minutes because the split peas grains are very small and they're going to boil very fast. I'm going to cover this over in the meantime. And this is going to boil for 30 minutes, high heat. It has been 13 minutes since the split peas have been boiling. And I could tell you they are already ready. These split peas boil so fast. I'm going to let it cook for a few more minutes just to infuse the garlic a little bit more. In the meantime, I'm going to begin to skim the split peas. Alright, to this we're adding 800 ml of cream style corn. The cream style corn is coarse and I don't like the cream style corn coarse. I like my corn soup very nice and smooth. So I'm making 1 pot of corn soup base. And to this I am adding 2 pimento peppers. And now we're going to emulsify this. So let's start off by adding about a tablespoon of oil. And we're going to leave that to heat up. Let's add some garlic. This is 2 cloves of garlic. 1 whole onion diced. About a teaspoon of thyme, fresh thyme. And we're going to saute this up. Once the aroma begins to come out, then we're going to add our chicken. Over here we have our chicken already prepared. And we are going to be using 2 chicken breasts and 1 leg and thigh. I cut this up really small, and you don't have to add chicken in corn soup, or some people add pigtail. You don't have to add it, you could omit it and just leave it strictly vegetarian. So we're going to go over to our stove and we're going to saute this. The seasoning in this is onion, garlic, cilantro, shanobeni, flavor pepper, green onion, and some ground spices. So let's go over to our stove and begin sauteing. Let's add our chicken pieces. And let's saute this up. Now what I'm going to do is leave the chicken to spring its own juices. I'm going to cover it and allow it to sit there for about 7 minutes before I add the other ingredients. These chicken pieces are very small, so they're not going to take very long to cook. The chicken is nice and juicy, well steamed. To this we're going to add 2 cups of finely diced pumpkin. Pumpkin adds to the extra yellow color. And I'm adding a cup of diced carrots, 1 bouillon cube, 4 corn. These are sweet corn, and they also add to the sweetness of the corn soup. And let's give this a good stir and coat it in the chicken juices. There's not much to a corn soup when making a corn soup. It's just to get that corn flavor and the creamy consistency. I am adding about 3 cups of water, just about half. Give it another mix. Allow our pumpkin and carrots to cook and our corn to steep in these juices. And this is going to take place for about 25 to 30 minutes. Cover it over. Whenever I'm making corn soup, I like to put cornmeal dumpling to pair with the overall corn aesthetic and the corn flavor of the soup. For our cornmeal dumplings, I am adding 1 cup of cornmeal, 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour, and a half teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix this, blend everything together. The cornmeal dumpling has a nice yellow to it, especially when you add more cornmeal than flour. Now we're going to add water and combine it. I'm not mixing it too soft. I like the dumpling a bit stiff because I like to make spinners. That should be just about enough water. Just a little bit more. I'm going to form a ball and it's going to be ready. And this is done. So we're going to let this sit on the countertop for about just a few minutes until we get all the other ingredients ready. One of the things that I don't like in pumpkin soup is the noodles in the dry soup mix. I like to sift it out, and I have pumpkin dry soup mix, and I'm going to use my strainer and sift it out. I could always use the noodles and make another noodle soup another time. As I mentioned before, I like to have my corn soup very smooth. And this, I'm not going to throw it away, I'm going to leave it for another time. This is what I'm going to use for our dumplings. We're going to make some little spinners, and that is the reason why I didn't want the noodles from the dry soup mix in there. Right, our cornmeal spinners are done, and we're going to assemble the entire pot of soup now. So let's head over to the pot. Our soup looks amazing already. Can't wait to enjoy this in this very cold winter. Let's put in our spinners. You don't want to put the spinners or your dumplings too close to each other, and you want to occasionally stir this up because the dumplings are going to stick, just like pasta could stick in a pot. So after I put in half, I'm going to stir this up. And let's add some more. Whenever I buy corn soup in Carnival or anywhere else, I believe that corn soup should have a lot of dumpling in it. You know, sometimes you buy corn soup and all you're seeing is corn and cream style corn. I just believe that if I purchase corn soup, my corn soup must have dumpling in it. Before I add the other half, I'm going to pour some of our corn and split pea mix so that it will have enough liquid to add more dumplings. Can't wait to devour this bad boy. And we're going to add the final touch of our dumplings to this. That's the last of the dumplings. Give it a mix up. And now we're going to put the last of the soup base in it. I am adding 400 ml of coconut milk. I am adding the dry soup mix. Stir this up. And this is how I love my corn soup, nice, smooth and creamy. So now we're going to season this to taste. One of my favorite vegetables to add in corn soup is Cho Cho. I'm adding 2 cups of Cho Cho. You really can't go wrong on the amount of dumplings and the amount of Cho Cho in this corn soup. And now we're going to season it to taste. We're going in with a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper for just a little kick. 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. 1/2 tablespoon of Caribbean roasted garlic spice. and 3/4 tablespoon of sea salt. Let's taste and make sure that it has enough salt. And it's perfect. So we're going to cover this up and allow the Cho Cho and the dumplings to cook. And this should take about 15 minutes in total. Cover it loosely. Okay. Time is up. And our soup should be done. Before we completely finish it, I'm going to turn off the heat. And I'm going to enhance the corn flavor by adding just about a teaspoon of fresh seasoning. This is garlic, cilantro, shanobeni, flavor pepper, onion. I'm just going to stir this in. This is going to make the flavor profile complete. And our soup is now done. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please give the video a thumbs up and drop a comment in the comment section and let me know if you like your corn soup smooth or you like it coarse. I like my corn soup nice and smooth, just like this. I don't like to taste the chunks of corn from the cream style corn, and that's the reason why I use a base to make my corn soup. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you on another good day for another great recipe.